Alright, let's go.
I got called into another chat with the boss today. Never thought he'd care about me this much. Everyone is smiling at me. The office feels downright cheerful. These days, I go home, change my baby boy's diaper, help my daughter with her homework, prepare tomorrow's lunch, and clean up the house. It's hard to describe
that's pretty
how
diligent,
satisfying
actually.
that feels.
Put
When
metaphors
Emma
in your
left me,
allegories within your
she
metaphors.
must have left the kids to me for my own happiness.
Okay.
When I look back, I realize I was someone who had it good, and I never understood how lucky I was.
Right? All thanks to Miss Fulwish.
Yeah, this guy's doing. Oh.
Yesterday,
Oh.
during my tumor removal, the anesthesia wore off halfway through. I squinted and watched the doctors pull all kinds of things out of my stomach. There was this lump still twitching when they cut it out. I used to be too weak to even get out of bed. But after the society's treatment, I am almost ready to walk out of the hospital.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, I kind of want to see someone slice me open too. It should be fun.
Hey, did you two hear about the Fulwish Syndicate?
I don't want to hear anything these two have to say anymore. I already made the stream over joke. I'm not making it again, but you can only. I wish you could see the hand gestures I'm making because they are wild. What did I just listen to? I don't want to be here anymore. Can we? I want to go back to Amphorius. Amphorius was less insane.
You've come to the right person. My neighbor got a visit from their debt collectors. You should have heard the racket. I saw the news too. Those parasites who ruined the peace, who kept people from being happy. Gone. Wiped clean. Oh, praise Aha.
What happened to our space superhero quest?
Extorted you too?
Something like that. Still owed their underboss tens of thousands of credits.
I don't know anymore.
So your debt's wiped
I want to go
clean.
home.
Oh, must feel pretty great, huh?
Get away from me. Actually,
Trying to trick me?
there we go.
Oh, we meet again. Hey, Lady Megatron. How have you been?
Good. Since I joined the research society,
Megatrons can
I
be
made
affected
so many
too? I mean, I
friends.
guess. It's their imaginary.
In the past, I struggled with mobility. I always had to work 3 or 4 times harder than the other Megatrons, just to keep up. A lot of Imaginae think factory-made types like me don't count as their own. And humans look at us and see soulless machines. If every sentient being has a home, then even the scrapyard is closed to me. I'm not even considered recyclable waste. But here, in this society, no one cares what I am or what I can do. They just see me as a normal person.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Congrats. You found your home.
Aha said the same. They and everyone here are my family.
Aha talks to you.
Of course. You mean you can't hear them? Guess you're not happy enough yet.
I don't talk to me
Don't
like
worry.
that.
Once you join the society, you will. No pain, no tears, just pure joy.
I
The
don't want to
society
be
makes
here
everyone
anymore.
happy.
Like, I'm happy that people aren't looking at you weird, but... See, that's like that's kind of honestly like the kind of the cool thing like about stuff like this, because like we can clearly tell that the Research Society of Happy Smiles is clearly being painted as something a little bit more sinister, but you also look at the people being affected, like even though like this guy just talked about the fact like, yeah, being sliced open sounds fun. I want to be sliced open too. He also went through probably a depression of his wife leaving him for whatever reason. We don't know what the reason was, obviously. Could have been her fault, it could have been his fault, it could have been mutual. It was probably mutual, let's be real, because that's how relationships work. Let's not forget that, everyone. But, like, it's clear that he was helped, and now he's, like, he's being a more proactive father. You know, taking care of his children, helping them with stuff, cleaning up the house, making sure that, like, his lunch is ready for tomorrow. He doesn't put things off anymore. And, like, you know, this lady, like, you know, being affected by, like, the tumor and whatnot, like, yeah, it made her, like, a bit more happy than she should have been about, like, watching that stuff get pulled out of her, but, like, it stopped her from, like, experiencing what probably other people would have felt pain in that situation. That's a bit more niche, but you can kind of understand what I'm getting at. So it's clear that, like, there's something going on that's a bit more... I guess sinister might be the wrong word, depending on, like, what else gets revealed in this. But still weird, because it's clear that Fulwish is probably also affected by the trauma of 15 years ago, and is probably doing this to stop other people from feeling pain, and is just going about it in a kind of I guess crazed way is just the simplest way to put it, even though that's an obtuse way to put it. But the way that Fulwish is clearly going about it is really aggressive, and really is just like, I want to make sure you don't feel pain anymore, basically. But she will stop at nothing. She will stop at nothing to make sure that people don't feel that pain, even if it means doing some things that would be considered unethical. So it makes you wary about this organization, but you also see the people that are being affected by it. Again, you know, like the Megatron here. She was clearly dealing with, you know, people, like, making fun of her, and, like, didn't want to, like, keep dealing with that anymore, and the Research Society of Happy Smiles helped her through that, and now she clearly thinks more for herself than what other people have to say about her. So yeah, it's kind of one of those weird situations where you feel uncomfortable, where like you're clearly made to feel uncomfortable by their methods, but the results speak for themselves.
Looks like it's about time. If the star of the show doesn't show up soon, the crowd's gonna burst with anticipation.
Everyone, please make some room for Miss Fulwish.
Oh, you're Miss Fulwish? Hi.
By the Master of Elation, may they bless all souls and grant them smiles. Are you all happy today?
Very happy!
Thank you for your smiles.
Yeah, it's
They're like
interesting that this is
lamps
generally their happiest
in
place.
the
Surely
dark.
this cult has no closet
So
skeletons.
precious.
Like, you
But
see
before
on
we
the surface
celebrate
how
the
happy
elation,
these people are,
let me share a memory.
but then you also know that this
drenched
is
in
going to lead to
tears.
some darker reveals.
It once dragged me into the abyss. Yet, it also taught me what the elation really means.
Which, I mean, like, she's going to
As
prove
you
that right
know,
now.
15 years ago, during the Phantasmoon Games, the shadow cast by the Herald of Death swallowed this place whole. That day, I lost my parents, my classmates, and the others. The morning greetings, the little daily chatter, all went silent under that crimson dusk. After that, for a very, very long time, all that remained of my world a door shut tight, a room steeped in silence, and a wound in my heart that would never heal. Just hearing the words, Herald of Death, made me shake uncontrollably. I even once thought the only escape was to follow the dead and leave with them. Back then, I was just an empty shell, breathing, beating, but lifeless inside. And just as my soul was about to fade away, an old lady from the Mutual Aid Society knocked on my door. She didn't offer empty words of comfort. She just looked me in the eyes and asked, "Child, would you try stepping outside this door? Out there are many people broken by pain, just like you. But together,
I hope
we
she
can
didn't
start
offer Raid
picking up the
Shadow
pieces,
Legends.
one by one."
That's even worse
She
than probably
smiled
what
at
they're
me.
actually doing.
A warm, gentle smile. And in that smile, I felt the master of elation grant me a reason to live. At the Mutual Aid Society, I saw countless souls scarred by fate. Some bore wounds beyond healing, and some had lost their loved ones. Each of us bore a different wound, but every wound cut deep. And yet, what truly moved me wasn't the pain. It was how, beneath those scars, they still reached out to one another, offering a smile to a child who'd stopped crying, lending a guiding hand to someone lost. They taught me something precious. Pain can destroy a person, but the wish to bring elation to others can spark the fire of rebirth.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about
Was
just
when
before
Aha's
this.
voice echoed again in the silence of my heart. The smiles passed from one another through mutual aid is Aha's most precious blessing. It does not belong only in the small room of a support group. It yearns to illuminate hearts lost in darkness. Each time we share a true smile, it's as if we hear Aha's voice. And when that voice rings out, all suffering fades, all pain is healed, and everyone knows what true happiness feels like. That's why the Research Society of Happy Smiles was founded. I will share this divine smile with all of you.
Can't wait to find out the Mutual Sports Society is powered by the Orphan Crusher 9000. Yeah, again, so, like, it's very clear that this is... The intentions are good. The idea is good, because we all can understand, to some extent, what it means that model was outdated. Yeah, they added an extra one, so it's over 9,000. The intentions are good, the idea is sound in theory, because... Like, just literally her whole speech there. Like, this whole speech there, you can tell that, like, she wants to give back in the way that she was helped through, the Bloodstained games 15 years ago. It's just, you can also tell, based on how these get depicted in media, is that the idea is there, but when you force someone to basically when you take away someone's right to feel pain, and I know it's kind of weird to word that, but like in the most recent trailer for 4.2, Sunday basically said that exact thing. He will defend everyone's right to feel pain. And that stuck with me because I was probably meant to finish the story before seeing that, but I wanted to save this until I came back to streaming, but looking at this from, yeah, it's more powerful to sit with someone with pain than force them not to feel that pain, yeah. So she took it upon herself to try to give back. Again, her idea is good because she wants to help others as she was helped. So she took up the mantle, she bore the burden, insert metaphor here, Star Rail loves them, about the fact that she wanted to make sure that, like, these people that were suffering from trauma or pain or whatever are healed, but the way she's probably going about it is the way that made Sunday say that line. Because Sunday back in Penacony, he also wanted to do something similar. He wanted everyone to have eternal peace, infinite Sundays. No Monday, no workday, just pure peace. But when you go about doing that, you deny people's autonomy, and you take away their right to make the decisions for themselves and to make themselves better. That's why, as you just said, Lilith, it's more powerful to sit with someone with pain than to force them not to feel it, because you are giving them the ability to heal on their own. You can give them a guiding hand, which is probably what was intended in the first place with Research Society of Happy Smiles. Yeah, exactly that. You can't have eternal peace without sacrificing autonomy and the right to self. So when you give someone a guiding hand, she literally says a guiding hand. It's clear her intentions are sound. The idea is she wants people to be happy, because that's what she learned from the Master of Elation. But the way that she goes about it is just like how Sunday went about it, in that the ideas got twisted along the way, and the sense of burden that she feels might have forced her to make decisions for other people because she took their pain upon herself rather than helping them, you know, ease their pain through just, you know, assistance, basically. That's a kind of a limp way to end that statement, but you get what I mean. Because, like, we noticed that, like, already with the people that we were talking to. The ones that are clearly not of sound mind, but are also still very clearly very happy. She helped them through these things, but she probably did it in a way that didn't allow them to process their trauma and grow from it. She took away the ability for them to heal on their own with proper guidance, and instead said, I will make sure you do not feel this anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I like depictions of stuff like this in media, when you can see the idea and you can agree with it, but then you look at their intentions and you're like, no. Because it gives a good dichotomy with someone who is learning exactly how to be the better version of that. And I mean, again, that's clearly probably why Sunday said that line in the trailer, is that it probably has something to do with this. So, like, it's this final line exactly that makes it very obvious that they're doing something under the surface that doesn't make this as good of a service as it should be, but why it calls out to people who are feeling that pain. Each time we share a true smile, it's as if we hear Aha's voice, which is what that Lady Mechatron said. And when the voice rings out, all suffering fades, all pain is healed, and everyone knows what true happiness feels like. You're just wiping the slate clean. And while that can definitely be nice, because when people just want to stop hurting, when some people want to stop hurting, they just want to stop hurting. Sometimes they don't care about the methods to achieve that, because all they want is for the pain to stop. So when you wipe the slate clean like this, it's very obvious that it works. But then you deny the person the ability to actually grow from that and properly heal. All you're doing is slapping a bandage on someone and then wiping their memory of it. So when they see that bandage, they're like, why is this bandage here? I don't remember why this is here. And then when they remove the bandage, they still see the wound that hasn't healed and they get traumatized all over again. Because they don't know how they got it. I just went on this tangent for 15 minutes. This is the type of shit that y'all are here for. It is deep conversations. I hope you all enjoyed that. I love talking about stuff like this, especially because I am someone who has gone through that. I speak from personal experience. Someone can't grow from it without knowing what caused the hurt in the first place, yeah. Yeah, I speak from experience, as I'm sure many of you know. You know, I've talked about it on social media before. I talked about it on my stream back. You know, I don't try to hide it. And I think, like, this whole thing was, like, a really, really good example as to why learning at your own pace, but having guidance along the way can be so much more helpful than just accepting the ability to forget. Because true strength comes not just from... I'd like Furbo too. True strength, in my opinion, it's never about the ability to take the hit. Because strength doesn't always come from just being able to absorb the punishment. It comes from being able to get back up after taking it. And just being thrown back up onto your feet before you can, like, actually feel what happened to you can cause more damage than slowly getting up and learning, like, okay, I took the hit. Where was I hit? How do I heal from this? I know this is kind of a really slapdash way of wording it, but I hope my point is getting across. But yeah. God damn, I love stories. I also learned about this from another game that I adore. Persona 5. Love that game. One of my favorite games of all time. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, everyone. I also want to talk a bit about Fulwish and why I like her character. Now, this is probably going to be tacked on to the video that I had originally planned to upload, because I feel like it's important for that context to be there. But why I really like Fulwish's character is similarly to what I said in that video, that the earlier part of the video in this case, in the 4.1 stream, was that I really, really enjoyed how she was a character that you could tell wanted to do right, but there were so many other circumstances that resulted in her wanting control over growth. And in a sense, it was a level of irony, which I think that she forgot that is something that Elation would appreciate, is irony. It is ironic that the way that she was manipulated by all of the, you know, by the TV hosts and whatnot, she would end up doing that exact same thing. And I don't think that she understood what she was doing because she was so dead set on taking her revenge. One, on taking her revenge, and two, she was still affected by the trauma of what happened 15 years ago because she never properly healed from it. She was never given a chance to properly heal from it because all that happened was that she was being taken advantage of by people that just wanted a good rating. Like, maybe even the school wanted a good rating. She was called the pride of the Arcadia for a reason, and that was a perfect set of buzzwords that not only empowered her, in theory it would have empowered her, but empowered the people that reported on it. It would have empowered the school. It would have empowered investors. It would have empowered so many people because she was the spotlight. But it wasn't a genuine spotlight, obviously. And I really like how even in, like, she lost her mind, obviously. But the reason why the mask, the note that was attached to the mask that said she looked like a joke crying like that, is because, to some extent, they were probably talking about the TV people as well. You know, the producers, the reporters, the station. They made her look like a joke. And she looked like a joke because she didn't look genuine enough to the people that wrote that mask. Because that's how the fools are. That's just inherently how they are. But the thing is when you get an invitation to the Fool's Tavern, it is always off the back of something traumatic. And something that the fools do is that they make light of trauma like that. And believe it or not, that is a much more genuine way to heal from that trauma than what she ended up doing. You know, and what Asat Pramod pushed her to do. That's why I really like her character and why she works as a representation of why growth is important, and why, as Sunday said, the ability to feel pain, the ability to suffer, is actually important in learning to heal. Because if you take away someone's pain, you take away their ability to understand how they healed from it. It's like I said in the 4.1 story. If you see someone crying and they have a wound on their arm, and all you do is bandage that wound and then wipe their memory of them having ever felt pain, they're gonna look one day, like maybe literally 10 seconds later, and they're gonna see that there's a band-aid on their hand, and they're not gonna know why it's there. And you wanna know what's gonna happen? They're going to pull the band-aid off, and they're going to be horrified at the fact that they're hurt, because they don't know how and why they got hurt. So they don't know how to heal. You can't take that away from someone, or you take away their ability to feel empowered by triumphing over that pain. And that's why Cinderborn is a good foil for Fulwish. Because like her, he went through all that pain and suffering and trauma. But unlike her, where their paths diverged, he stuck to his truth, and he stuck to the fact that he knew that denying pain was something that didn't make sense. There was no growth in it. He understood that, like, even when everything that happened in 4.1, when he was really debating on getting that. He listened to the reason that removing pain is not a way to grow, and it's not a way to heal. That is not healing. And he learns that in 4.2 when he comes in, and as still the Daybreak Squadron, literally the thing that he clung to in his pain, he found a way to use it for good. Like, the very things that his teammates were kind of mocking, you know, themselves for. You know, there's the mockery thing again. About that they were just, like, how they were just, you know, actors on TV, and now they were doing stuff for good. He knew, Cinderborn knew that being that actor for those children could mean so much. He knew the fact that he could do more. And he did more. He led the charge for the rescue efforts in Seafeld City as the leader of the Daybreak Squadron. So imagine all of those people who watched the TV shows with the Daybreak Squadron. Imagine being a kid, you watch the Daybreak Squadron, and you hear that your hero is leading the relief efforts, the relief and rescue efforts of everyone in Seafeld City. That means a lot to someone. Because that means your heroes are doing good and you feel inspired by them. Fulwish never had a chance to be inspired by that because she was controlled and manipulated ever since that incident. Even in death, she was controlled and manipulated. She never had a chance to actually heal. And that's why I like Fulwish and Cinderborn's characters, and why I think they're good representations of the importance of healing. Because then we bring Sunday back into the mix, and Sunday's also a good foil for Fulwish, because he went down the exact same path that she did. And to hear him openly say that he will defend everyone's right to feel pain when he himself wanted to take people's pain away before, it's also why I love Sunday. I think Sunday Sunday and Finon are some of the best written characters in Honkai Star Rail. I think Sunday's above Finon, but that's only because we've had Sunday for longer, and Finon was a lot more condensed. It's opinions, don't forget that. But regardless, it's why I think Sunday is just one of, if not the best characters in Honkai Star Rail right now. Because his journey and his growth has him see, experience, and understand why pain is necessary sometimes to heal and grow. And that it is one thing to guide someone, and it is another thing to drag them along. Guiding someone down a path means you are still helping them find their footing, but they are still the one leading them. All you're doing is, well, helping them. You're giving them a shoulder to lean on. You're helping them stand up. You're taking, the weight off of their injured limb. But you're still helping them along the path of their choosing. Whereas if Sunday, back when Sunday was controlling them, all he would do was blindfold them, put his hands over their eyes, and they would have to trust Sunday. They could only blindly trust Sunday that he would lead them where they needed to go. He obviously did not back then. So yeah, this is why I love Honkai Star Rail. No matter the problems that it has, its story and its messages are still really strong and really important to listen to. And that is why I have also been enjoying playing Arcadia a lot so far. I think it's great. Put simply. Slow start for 4.2, but the build up to it, yeah, I'm hopeful that continues with 4.3 and beyond.